I think at least half of the people are going to die.
I really wish I was binging this right now so that I could get to the next thing.
May the Force.
The Force.
The Force will be with you. Always.
Welcome to Star Wars Uplink, your place for everything Star Wars gaming, the TV shows, and the movies. Each week we dive deep into 2 Star Wars topics you need to know from the galaxy far, far away. I'm your host, Sage Goodwin, and as always, I'm joined by Sydney Laurel. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Today, we're doing something very different. We're going to dive deep into, should Andor have been a movie series?
Ooh.
And a character study on Andor and why he is actually fighting with the rebellion in the first place. So, let's jump right in.
Just you reconsider playing that message for him.
First off, I saw this article somewhere and it was like, why Andor should have been a movie series instead of a TV show. And I was like, interesting. So I wanted to deep dive into it.
Okay.
Let's kind of tackle this in 2 different ways.
Okay.
We talked about this right before we hopped on and kind of planning out the structure of the podcast. And I think this is going to be fun. Andor, TV show, 12 episodes. It's telling a year in Andor's life, as we all know. It's been great. Love it so much. But there's a lot of people that are like, I say a lot of people, but I've seen it a couple times. I've seen several articles on like why it should have been a movie. But this happens pretty much anytime there's a TV show and it's like, this TV show should have been a movie. Or this TV show should have been a series of movies.
Yeah. Or this movie should have been a TV show.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so there's always this discussion on, is this the right format for this story? And I think with Andor, this specific article that I don't remember where it was from, but it was like, this should have been 3 or 4 movies. And it kind of is lengthwise. Kind of. It'd be a short movie each 3 episodes.
I mean, I can see their point.
Really?
I think mostly our big problem right now is that we want things fast. We want things moving at a pace that we're used to. So I think even this past episode that we got, episode 5, it felt slow, and I even felt it. And I'm usually really good. Yeah, I'm usually really good with slow moments and stuff like that. I really like it. And I don't mind it, but this episode was like, I got that feeling in my brain where it was like, ooh, this is like...
You got the pick up your phone alarm?
No, it was the like, I really wish I was binging this right now so that I could get to the next thing because I'm not quite getting the payoff or something yet. Like
it was very much a middle episode where you get all of they're setting up all the things that you need to know. They're setting up the ideas that these characters are struggling with, the inner fighting between each other. Like there's this stress and there's this buildup that's building up slowly through this episode in particular.
Yeah.
And
it's great. Yeah. It's just I wish we could get the next thing, like I didn't quite get the jump on me or something. I don't know. It wasn't quite there for me anyway. Like it felt like, oh, this is how people actually would feel like back in the day when they didn't get full episodes. It was I have to wait.
The Netflixification of things.
Exactly.
Where you get the whole thing at once and you binge it all the way through and you can't remember what episodes are which and what part what happened where.
So good because then it's like a movie.
Well, I mean, with like the Marvel movies, each new movie seems to be getting longer and longer, and each show seems to slowly be getting longer and longer in terms of the Marvel stuff. They seem a lot more loose in terms of how long. Because it surprises me every time that I see new She-Hulk episodes are still coming out, and Miss Marvel, it was out. I mean, it just recently ended, and that was like a mind-blow thing to me. I was just like, oh, that's still going?
Yeah.
We haven't watched those shows, so we don't know the pacing of those, but it seems a lot more of the quicker action type situation. I am going to disagree with you though.
Yeah.
I think this is the right format for it. I think the medium of a TV show, you're able to tune in each week and you're able to kind of just soak it in. It's like a nice tea. You got to let it steep a bit. It's not the hit of caffeine like a shot of coffee or espresso.
Right.
It's not that show. It is it's a slow kind of steeping kind of show. And I don't think you could really do it. I mean, we got Andor as a movie with Rogue One.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm more convinced that they can tell good stories and actually deliver on them in the TV show format than I can on the movie front.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that it's a problem of the story itself. It's just, it feels like it's in these segments that I want to I need it faster.
Well, this is too. It's a unique situation to point out because we got the first 3 episodes at once.
Ooh, that's true.
So we didn't have this. We didn't like rest on that second episode to wait for the third one.
Yeah.
So this is the first full arc that we're getting episode by episode. Because the second episode in the first 3. That was definitely like, it was the slower kind of build-up episode. Yeah. And then you get the payoff in episode 3.
So I didn't feel it because we
watched
episode.
it like a movie.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I'm saying it could be a movie because it's just keep it as
Definitely
it is. Just
movie.
No pauses. No waiting.
I think the strength of the story is best utilized in a TV show because you get those moments where you can kind of let stuff sink in. You get the moments to break things down. It is, I think, so well done. I think what will be super interesting is when we do have the whole of it and we can watch it all the way through. We're a lot more continuous of the show. That will be a good indicator of how everything flows together.
Yeah, for sure.
But you can't have these mini arcs in a movie like you can with a TV show. We're getting one whole story told in 4 different parts. Versus if it was a movie, we would have had to have 4 different movies for this. Like if basically each 3 episodes is like a story arc.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. No.
So we would have had to have 4.
That's not the movie I want. I just want it all right now.
You want like it condensed down into this like extract, or like concentrate. You want the Andor concentrate.
Don't make me water it down by waiting a week to see.
I don't think they're watering it down though.
No, it's not watering down. It's like just a personal like. I want the hit. I want the shot.
Why do you think that is?
I just chalk it up to.
Binging
and what Netflix has done to us all.
Yeah.
And the fact that I really haven't watched shows that are coming out like as they're coming out.
Yeah, it's been a while since we did it with Obi-Wan, but that was we got 2 episodes at the launch and then it was just 4 weeks.
I think it's because we didn't enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
That I wasn't as excited about the new episodes.
It was all like for me watching Obi-Wan, it was more like let's watch Obi-Wan. Yeah, it wasn't like, oh man, I can't wait for the next episode of the story. Yep. Book of Boba Fett a bit.
Yeah, because we just didn't quite know what was going to happen. But with Obi-Wan, you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, and just quite live it up for our expectations.
Yeah, we definitely went in there way too high with expectations. Unfortunately.
Yes, but that is, I think, a good spot to say, hey. You listening to this right now, watching this on YouTube, listening to it in your favorite podcast app. What do you think? Should Andor have been a movie or multiple movies? Should it have been 2, 3, a trilogy? Do you think it is best suited in a TV show format or should it have been a movie? I would love to hear your thoughts and kind of what you think on that front. Yeah. I think there's an interesting level of engagement there that you get to have it weekly. Star Wars movies are such a huge thing now. Like you can't have a slow burn movie.
That's true.
You can't have a character-driven movie. You can have it in a TV show. But like if we look at like what's been popular over the last year in terms of movies, it's not like the psychological thrillers. It's the massive blockbusters. It's the Marvels. It's the Star Wars. It's the Jurassic Worlds. It's these big showcases of visual effects and explosions and lots of action. There aren't those character-driven moments. And the story that needs to be told with Andor needs those character-driven moments. Otherwise, you're not going to connect to it as much through the whole story. So, we know where Andor ends. He ends on Scarif and he dies.
It all ends in death.
It all ends in death. So we know our end point. And prequel movies, we saw how they went with Star Wars. We definitely saw how they went with Lord of the Rings. Not that I'm not in reference of Rings of Power. We still haven't watched it
No.
yet, but I'm talking about the Hobbit
Hobbits.
movies. Those are rough. First one, pretty good.
Yeah. The first 20 minutes.
First, yeah, maybe 30.
Maybe 30.
As soon as they get to like in the mines, I think is
Yeah, after Rivendell, once they leave Rivendell, it's like, okay, we're done. We can turn it off now. I think my last thing I want to say about just Andor being a movie, I really appreciate that they're taking the time to make it character driven, and just I feel like that's something that we just don't see anymore in movies, and I think that's why I want to see it as a movie is because it's so well done. It is fully
you
like
want that
it
like
is-
love and care on a movie.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see because it feels like a book to me. I think that's the kind of level of intimacy that we're getting with Andor.
Yeah,
And I want that in a movie.
we're
Like,
getting
I
that
want
level of
that.
like almost like the inner dialogue.
Yeah. Like we can almost like we can see it, we can feel it. It's almost tangible. Like this. It's so good. And I want to feel that in a movie again. You know, like I'm really glad that they took the time to do it in a show. So can't we do that in a movie? I guess that's my kind of feeling towards it. Is like, yes, it could be a movie because I believe that this kind of connection of viewer and character is there. You know.
Yeah.
So
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're more wanting the aspirational kind of movie that this could have been. Like, let's say they took the love and care and the dedication to telling a good story from this show and applied it to a movie format. That's what you would have wanted?
that's not what I would have wanted. I just feel like it's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like it could be,
Yeah.
and it'd be great.
I think it could be good. Obviously, I'm more of the long form TV show.
Yeah.
I much prefer. It's so weird. Like it's hard for me to watch a movie now because I'm so used to TV shows where I can watch 40 minutes and be like, there we go.
Yeah.
Like there have been a few movies where I've watched it and it's like at the 45-minute mark, it's like, shouldn't this be ending? Oh yeah, wait, no. This is a movie.
Oh no.
This is a movie, not a TV show.
Yeah. TV shows. I feel like they give TV shows more love in that regard, and I think that's what's really missing in movies these days.
Yeah.
So it's probably an unpopular opinion, or like just not what the article that you read was meaning as far as Andor should have been a movie, but that's my take on Andor.
I
if
imagine-
it could be a movie,
Yeah.
it would still be great.
I think the whole point of that article, there's a few of them. Obviously, there's different perspectives on each of them, but one of them definitely was like, yeah, if it was a movie, we'd have everything a lot more condensed and the story would go quicker.
Which is not necessarily what I want.
Yeah. So I think there's merits to it I mean, Obi-Wan was supposed to be a trilogy, and then they were supposed to make a movie, and then it turned into 24 episodes, and then they turned it into 6. So it had like the reverse. Like it was
was
supposed
like
to be this big thing, and then
Condensed and then largened and then condensed back into
yeah.
Oof.
So it got destroyed.
Yeah.
In that process. So I think ultimately though, when you plan for something to be a format, it's going to work so much better than if you try to repurpose a trilogy of movies into a TV show. Just because of the way stories are told. When you have episodes, like each episode is its contained thing, you have a break and you have sub themes in between that. With a movie, like you may have a trilogy of movies, but they would come out like every other year or maybe every year. You have that clear break. You have that passage of time that's much longer than a week.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting. Would love to
Yeah.
hear your thoughts though. Like what would you all listening to this think of Andor as a movie or a series of movies?
Do you agree with us? Do you not? Let us know.
Now let's break into let's deep dive, get into the weeds on a character study of Andor, because I think there's a whole lot there. Obviously, there's a whole show about it. There's going to be two seasons of a show about it and a movie that we've already gotten. But
Yeah.
why is Andor helping the rebellion? Obviously, we know he helps the rebellion because he's helping the rebellion in Rogue One. But why is he doing it here?
I'm curious to hear your thoughts first because I'm not 100% sure myself.
Well, I don't think he is necessarily at this point either. Obviously, right now, he believes it's because he's getting paid for it.
Right.
But it's clear he doesn't really believe that. I think ultimately it comes down to he's just looking for purpose. I think it's as human as that, where he's just looking for something that's bigger than he is and something that is a lot more powerful and to make an impact that is larger than himself, and to be around somewhat like-minded people, to find the similar community that he left on Aldhani. And to make a big difference. I mean, because he was making these small changes. Obviously, he's disgusted by the Empire. He's disgusted by the arrogance, the bureaucracy, the corporatization of it, like all of this stuff, the destruction of his homeworld because of that. Like, there's so much there in his past, and then he's been making these small kind of things with it, on the hunt to find his sister. Remember, he's still looking for his sister.
That has been completely lost, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's probably like one of my gripes with it, is that it's like...
But technically, we're only like a week into his story.
It's true. We are really not that far into... And yes, you would absolutely be just caught up in the swing of things.
Yeah. You just escaped from your planet. The Empire's hunting you, and you just got paid to attack an empirical base.
Yeah.
That is basically impossible. And I would definitely see you as being a little bit more on, oh crap, I just need to survive, instead of, I need to find my sister.
Yeah.
It's very real, that aspect of things.
Yeah. But also, we're getting it over how many weeks now? So it's like, again.
It's been it's not been 5 weeks. It's been 3 weeks?
Yeah.
It's not even been a month, right?
That's correct.
Because we had the 3 at launch, and then it's just been 2 after that. So 3 weeks that we've had with the Andor story.
Back to Andor and just his character, I think a lot of it has to do with just being displaced so many times. That loss of belonging and what you know as true and real, and
especially being as a child, like taken from his planet.
Yeah.
Like that was
into a alien world where you can't even speak the language and having to learn all that. And man, and it just seems like he's never found his home, and he's never really found his purpose.
Yeah. Because even on Aldhani, he was just just bopping around.
Yeah. Literally felt like he was just beat bopping around. But he's also still kind of like attached to that plane that he was originally taken up with, like taken away from his home. So it's almost like he's trying to cling to the closest thing that he can get to his old home planet, to his sister. So why would that involve the Empire? Like why would that equal revenge against the Empire?
I think that's a good question to ask, because we have yet to see it. I think we're going to start seeing it soon on that why of things.
Yeah. Like,
why is he ultimately doing this? Why is he taking such a big stand against the Empire when we haven't really seen it in the past yet? I think that is a good question.
That's my question right now.
Yeah.
I assume it will get answered. I'm just curious. I'm curious as to why I have this question right now, though. Like, I feel like I should know those answers.
Yeah.
Because
I think it's like what we talked about earlier. Like, he is just going on to the next thing.
Right.
Like, he hasn't had time to really process what's happened yet.
Yeah.
Because he went from one extreme to another extreme. And I think after whatever happens in the next episode, we're going to see a lot more of that inner workings of if they fail, if they succeed, if they he's going to lose members of his team probably. I mean, that's a whole other discussion there of like, who's going to die next episode?
Yeah, that's kind of a question I want to ask.
I think a lot of people are going to die next episode.
Who do you think?
Let me pull up the names of these people. Who's going to die?
Karis, 100%.
You think so?
Yep. The young philosopher always dies.
I think he's going to live.
Really?
I do.
Oh, why?
Because the stereotypical thing would be for him to die.
No, the stereotypical thing would be for the black guy to die. And I think he's going to live.
So I think the Imperial officer is either going to die or he's going to get found out or get left there and then found out or die. Either way, he's going to have a rough time, I feel. Because I don't think he would add to the story of him
No, and he doesn't
succeeding.
really have anything left to live
Yeah.
for other than just getting back at the
He's either going to
Empire.
die to move the story forward, or pull the switch so they can get out, or something along those lines. Something's going to happen to where some Imperial officer or something is going to come in, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh no, that dude's here. We're going to have blah blah blah." I think Nimic, Karis, everyone's just calling him Nimic, the philosopher.
Yeah.
I think he's going to live, but I think Skeen is going to die.
No,
Because I think
he's
it'd be
gonna
way...
live because he's the tension between him and Andor and all.
No, that's why I think he's going to die. I think he's going to die, and then Nimic is going to be faced with a lot more reality than he's prepared for. And I think that's a way more interesting story than if Skeen survives and Nimic dies. Because Skeen's already, he's war-torn, he's got he was like a slave. There's no more things that could go wrong with that dude to push him forward. Like, he's already toasted.
No, that's why he's going to live, because he's got to watch the young, innocent philosopher kid who he really, truly cherishes. He's going to go, and then he's going to be even more war-torn, and he's going to have to make the decision to be to make himself better because of it or not. And that's usually what happens.
We shall see.
You want to bet on it? Coffee again?
I'll bet you a coffee that Nimic survives.
Okay.
We'll see. I think...
And that Skeen dies. Or that Skeen... Yeah, you think Skeen's going to die.
I think Skeen's going to die,
I think
and
he's
Nimic is going to
live.
live.
And Nimic's going to die.
Yes.
All right.
What if they both live? Or both die?
Then it's void.
Yeah,
Then
okay.
Then the thing just ends.
I think Cinta is going to live.
Uh-huh.
They haven't developed her character enough to kill her off.
Yep, to make it impact. Like, we don't know her enough to know. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think Vel could die.
Nah, I don't think so.
You don't think so? I mean, she's leading the whole story. She's planned everything out. She's this false leader almost.
Right.
Like, at least she's questioning her leadership because everyone is questioning her leadership.
It would put, if she does go, it would put Andor and Skeen in an interesting...
Like a power struggle.
Yeah, power struggle.
But they won't, because Skeen's going to die.
No, he's going to live. And the power struggle will be there. So I guess I could see that she might die.
I think at least half of the people on this mission are going to die.
I could see most of them surviving off the get-go, but then them coming, like some other force coming in and like, boom, and
that
they just
TIE
have to,
fighter comes in and destroys them all.
Like all the TIE fighter comes in and everyone gets blown to bits except for Andor and maybe like Cinta or something.
Plot twist, Luthen dies. he comes on the shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at least half of the people are going to die, honestly. Just because of, I mean, it's the perfect opportunity. No one's going to come unscathed from this mission.
That's for sure. I would agree with you that I think most of them probably will die.
We know that they won't be afraid to kill them because at the ending of Rogue One, everyone dies.
Of course, yes.
So we have a precedent of a lot of people dying.
I just don't think they're going to. For some reason, I feel like most of them are going to live, but except for like a few.
You think it's going to be like one emotionally impactful death? I think it's going to be small moments of death.
Could be.
Sounds like a heavy metal band. Small moments of death. Welcome to the stage. Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential for death and destruction here. I think Skeen and Nimic would go off together as like a watch, protection, sniper, navigation, something. They're going to be together. Skeen's going to sacrifice himself for Nimic. And then Nimic is going to have to be forced to have a decision. He's either going to get captured or able to get away because you got the old-time Wayfinder thing. That's my theory.
Okay.
That's my working theory.
That's a fair theory.
Yeah. I think it's got some legs to it.
But I still think Skeen's going to die.
Next episode,
No, Skeen's going to live.
Cassian's going to die.
Nemic's going to die. Cassian's going to die. Yeah, that's for sure.
Plot twist. Every episode we'll be like, he's going to die and he's going to be replaced with a robot. So much potential for death in this episode. All right, Last thing, though, is kind of next episode, we want to get into the weeds with Cyril, because I think there's a lot of damage there done. He's dealing with like PTSD, a helicopter parent. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That dude's emotionally hurt right now. So next episode, we're going to break down his character and see what is his motivation. What is he going to do next? So I think there's some extreme action about to be happening with his character. Mm-hmm. Maybe not next episode, but I think it's going to be, or at least maybe set up for next episode. Yeah. I think it's going to be cool. But I think ultimately Andor right now is very lost in his character arc.
For sure, yeah.
He's not afraid to murder. He's like a loaded gun, so many directions that it could be thrown at, pointed towards good or evil. So I think ultimately we're going to see some very interesting growth with this character in next episode, because I think that's when everything is going to go hit the fan.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be good.
Yes. Very much looking forward to it. But with that, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Star Wars Uplink. As always, check us out on YouTube. Check us out on all of your favorite podcast apps. Leave us a review. Helps us out a ton. We'd love to hear your theories on Andor as well. Would love to see who's going to die? Who's going to live? Overall, I think it'll be interesting to find out from you. Definitely let us know. Leave a review. It helps us out a ton. Rate us on Spotify. You can listen to us on YouTube with the video, and you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud. All of the places you can check us out. And as always, thanks for listening, and may the Force be with you.